Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another GTA Online video. Today I want to give my thoughts on the Last Dose missions, and I guess my final wrap-up thoughts about the entire Jug Wars update as a whole, after getting basically all of the drip-fed content aside from just a couple cars. But we'll start with the Last Dose. In terms of the story, I found myself rather uninterested in it. The characters I just didn't really care about. I kind of found them a little bit annoying at times even. I think the contract update from the previous December DLC did a much better job with the story, and a large part of that is probably because we saw the return of Franklin, one of the main characters from single player in that update, along with Lamar. You know, having those two characters from the single player really helped it, and just the interactions between Franklin and Lamar are funny, whereas Dax and the gang shouting badonkadonk and butthole every other minute kind of gets annoying in my opinion. Now, I'm going to give you guys my kind of tinfoil hat theory, if you will. I truly believe that the Jug Wars update was originally written for Trevor to return. And I think if Trevor were to come back and we got Trevor, Chef, and Ron from the single player as the main characters instead of Dax and the gang, I would have enjoyed it a bit more than I did. Ron and Chef are actually in the update in the first cutscene, which takes place at a conveniently similar location that just so happens to be where Trevor used to operate. You see those two both in that cutscene. And then when you really think about it, how many references to Trevor missions specifically are there in this DLC? The first mission of First Dose, where you are shooting Lost members from the top of the gas station, is pretty much exactly like the Trevor mission from single player where you do the exact same thing, just with different enemy types. Then there's a mission where you go blow up the Lost property at Stab City, just like in single player in the mission Friends Reunited, where you plant the sticky bombs on the trailers and blow them up as Trevor. The Freak Shop in general is located at the same exact warehouse where pretty much the entirety of the Series A heist with Trevor takes place, where even the first mission in Last Dose is very similar to the first part of the Series A finale where you defend the area from waves of bad guys. And then the most obvious reference is the final Last Dose mission, which is essentially one of the most iconic Trevor missions, Minor Turbulence, where you crash a plane into the back of a giant cargo plane and then hijack the cargo plane. It just seems very, very strange that they would reference all of these Trevor missions, use all of these locations where Trevor used to operate in some form, without actually including Trevor in the update at all. And that's why I believe that initially Trevor was supposed to be the main ally in this update, but then when Rockstar couldn't get Stephen Ogg back to be Trevor again, they had to basically create a whole new set of characters for the update to replace him. Because even Dax himself kind of acts just like Trevor does, almost like a Walmart version of Trevor with what he says and his crazy over-the-top personality. Obviously, we're never going to know for sure if that's the case, that's just a theory of mine, but to me, it's no coincidence. It seems like this DLC was truly made for Trevor to return, and it would make total sense to have references to iconic Trevor missions from the single player if Trevor were to be here instead of Dax. On Twitter, after playing the Last Dose missions, I called them just generic contact missions, and that might have been a bit harsh. There's a bit more to them than just your generic contact missions. However, the missions themselves don't do anything crazy that we haven't seen before. The most unique one is when you're at the rehab center on drugs and you have all the enemies and props spawning in and clones of yourself. But in terms of gameplay on that mission, it's really just like the Dax Free Mode mission where you do the same thing. You kill the bad guys for 5 minutes while high on drugs. Just with Dr. Freelander talking over it this time. It's not anything special really. On another mission, you are breaking into the Freed Mind HQ, which takes place in the morgue interior, which you most likely have seen before, just with a different coat of paint on it. And you have the option to do this mission in stealth if you like. It's pretty easy though, you can just kill everyone basically. Overall, it was about as I expected it to be. I wasn't going into the Last Dose missions thinking it was going to be some massive update. I expected the missions to be similar to the first dose, and we got just about that. Just a very quick story that you can finish in just over an hour of game time, and you'll most likely never touch these missions again because there's really no incentive to do them again after playing them for the first time. I'm sure we'll soon have that hard mode event just like with the first dose, so that's going to be a reason to replay them, but outside of any special events, the pay is your typical contact mission pay. And the missions aren't going to change to give you a different experience each time, so yeah, the replay value just isn't there. The first time you do complete them though, you get the Virtue, which for a free car is really nice. I've of course already discussed the downsides of this vehicle, so I won't mention that here. But to wrap up my thoughts, I wasn't really enthralled by the Jug Wars DLC as a whole. I think Trevor would have made a better fit for the update. It just sucks that if it truly was meant to be for Trevor and they couldn't get him on board with it, then that's not really Rockstar's fault, and it's hard to really blame them in that situation. I know some people like to defend Rockstar and say that the reason everything is kind of being reskinned and reused is because they're working hard on GTA 6 and not leaving that many resources for GTA Online. While that may be true, We don't really know what's going on over there for sure 100%. So I'm going to treat any new content like it is new content, and I'm going to judge it as so. Let me know what you guys think about The Last Dose and the Jug Wars DLC as a whole in the comments. Do you agree with my theory of Trevor being planned to be in the update before being replaced by a new character? And if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.